So let's talk about some controversial things in my Cascadia plan. Well, here's the first one. We give away free guns and survival supplies to the people every 5.25 years. No, wait, 5 1/3. So every 5 years, 4 months, we give away some guns and some storable foods and some rope, some body armor. And that's expensive, sure. But we want to have an armed population and we want to have a prepared mass. So if we're giving them 6 months worth of shelf storable food, that's, vacuum sealed 25 or 30 years, and they can store that, right? Or they could sell it if they want, but everyone's going to have a supply of it, so the prices will go down a bit. Yeah, it's a little bit of a market manipulation, because it means that when those are actually delivered, the demand's going to go down for that kind of thing, most likely. But basically, we're instilling a prepper culture, and you have to sign up to get this anyway, so we don't just drop it off on you if you don't consent, because we're libertarians, and it's important to us that we don't just go, yeah, well, whatever, you better like it. No, that's not how we are. But that's progressive, right? Because it's sort of like a public benefit. But when felons are released from prison or jail, they've considered to have served their sentence, and they are considered to not have a high recidivism risk. They might potentially be on probation or parole if there is a concern that the calculation of their recidivism is wrong, and that they need to be put on a trial period back in the real world to see if they're going to behave correctly. But they actually get pretty much the same thing. They get armed up, and they get 3 days rations, and they get a sleeping bag and a tent, because it's presumed that they're going to be homeless when they get out, because they've been in there for a while. If they've been in jail, they could have been up there up to a year. If they've been in prison, they could be in there for much longer than a year. A year and a day can be in prison, but 5 years maybe, or 4 years, or 7 years. And so we make sure they have supplies, and that's considered controversial. But also, felons are fully restored in respect for all their rights after they have finished serving their sentence. So if you're on probation or parole, you're going to have what's known as an antique firearm from 1999 or before. It's actually at midnight, the year 2000. It's right before midnight. It's 80 millionth of a second, because that's called a tick on a computer. And I'm a little bit scientifically meticulous about this. But anyway, so we have public welfare programs and no taxes. There's a lot of